Hey guys, I'm coming to you with an abundance of love and gratitude. It's a full moon, and I want to share these vibes with you. I'm currently outside on my way down from a hike and sprinkling out a little bit of a chill breeze. Feels good on the skin. Biggest organ. When we allow ourselves to be naked, we open ourselves up to the oxygen, the world around us. Now we can even be naked with clothes on. Similarly, we can bow down to something without actually doing it physically. We can bow down to something in the feeling of reverence inwardly. We can do that without any outward physical expression, outward physical action. We can simply be that sense of reverence to the life all around us. And all of its different expressions, and all its loving abundance, and its beautiful presence, and all its bliss and blessings. And all its stillness, and all its silence, and all its seeming chaos. Whatever the mix, you need not try to fix it, because it is what it is. It's perfect the way it is. Nature has created this vast cosmos, this wonderful creation field. And all its perfection. So you need not try to change it, because it's in a natural flux as it is. So trying to change it is really going against it in a sense. We want to flow with it. We want to flow with the course of nature. We want to understand that we're a part of it. We're not separate from it. But at the same time, there's a part of us that is transcendent to it. It's beyond the worldly matrix, beyond the world around us. But at the same time, it's intrinsic to it. That's the seeming paradox, is what we could call many different names. That presence is simultaneously finding expression in everything, in all the different forms, in all the different variations. But at the same time, it's beyond them. It's beyond this three-dimensional reality. And in order to tune into that, we want to transcend our three-dimensional selves, our lower self, our ego, the lower vibrations, the lower energy centers. We want to have self-control and control this life force at first. After a while, it becomes effortless, and we need not forcibly control. But at first, we want to have self-control so that we can transcend these lower regions, rise that energy up into the high regions, into the brain and beyonds. And once a sufficient amount of energy is built up in the brain, and you'll know it, you'll feel it, you'll witness it and experience it, then we can come back to the world and be conscious of this energy and these different forces within us each and every day, so that we can maintain these forces so they're operating at full force and in proper balance. We don't want to be polarized in either which direction. We don't want to be polarized to the lower regions or the high regions. And of course, the lower and higher are all a part of the same one spectrum. It's multidimensional, infinite frequencies. But they're all a part of that same essence, that source, that stillness that is beyond this three-dimensional matrix, beyond the personal, separate self and its personal memories and seemingly separate identity. It's beyond words, really. But we can try to understand it conceptually. And in order to do so, we want to understand that it's really beyond form. It's formless. Everything in form and appearing to us in the three-dimensional space around us, in the screen of space, appears solid, but really it's mostly empty space. And that can help us understand that the source of this vast creation field is really formless. And we can indeed witness it and embody it by at first taking charge of the energy within us that is deeply connected to it, that allows us to feel a heightened sense of connection with it. And once we gain the self-control, it becomes effortless. Because once you feel that stillness and that calmness and that inner serenity and inner bliss and peacefulness and abundance, and receive those blessings from the universe around us and all the different synchronicities and the language that it speaks to us in the inner voice, the voice within, that becomes the dominant voice in your head, as the overthinking and the mental chatter that's rooted in the root chakra, in the lower regions, in the ego, that has been transcended. So naturally that becomes silenced, and this inner voice becomes loud and clear within you, and it guides you, and it leads you, and it directs you in all that you do. Every breath that you take, every step that you make, every move that you make. Every single bite of food is transmuted into light. That's a beautiful blessing, I tell you. You are the light. You are the Word manifest. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You are the Word. Now, we don't want to bash words. We want to understand that concepts are not fundamentally reality, but still, they're very powerful because they're sound. They're an expression of that universal essence that is essentially beyond appearance, that is expressing itself as appearance, that we can feel inwardly as a sense of bliss when we overcome those lower desires. And once we do, we'll start to receive desires in the heart. And every single desire that comes into your heart, when you're living rightly, living righteously, and we won't even say righteously because that could be perceived as a vanity, as if there's somebody to be righteous. It's not that sense. and rightly implies wrongly. So, but you know what I mean. When we're living consciously with a certain sense of thanks and unity for the presence of the life around us, the life that we are, the miracle that we are, that's beating our heart, that's breathing our lungs, that has brought us into this existence. When we give thanks for that, naturally, we're going to feel that sense of unity. And our heart's going to be open. And that sense of openness brings a sense of bliss. And as a result of that, we open ourselves up, a heightened sense of receptivity and sensitivity to the world around us, and especially to the world within. And we receive those desires in the heart, and in due time, you keep on persisting and living consciously, they'll become manifest, just like you are. Because you are the word manifest. And thus, you being an extension of this source of creation, you have the ability to create. And you can, in turn, manifest whatever your heart desires. And when it comes from a pure place, you have all the more power to manifest. Now, if we're trying to manifest something, to prove our worth, or to, fulfill lower desires, to satisfy our egoic tendencies, or whatever it may be, then our power isn't going to be as apparent. But once we allow this energy to flourish within us as a result of living consciously, being conscious of this energy within us, this divine energy, then, we'll be able to manifest our heart desires accordingly. And it just happens naturally. We don't have to forcibly try to control outcomes. You'll notice that everything kind of happens in synchronicity once your heart is open. And that's why we want to really understand these energies within us, so that we can bring the energy up to the heart and into the high regions, so that we witness these synchronicities. And over time, it'll be an everyday thing, and you'll kind of almost develop an arrogance. And we could call it an arrogant face. Just knowing that this power within you is in charge of your life, and it's guiding you, leading you, directing you, and protecting you. And there's nothing you can do as a separate entity to try to forcibly control outcomes, because really it's doing you all the way through in everything that you do. And that's a beautiful blessing, to understand that, to witness that, to embody that, to feel that, to really be that within yourself and thus in the world. It's a whole different way of living. It's living at a high vibration, living consciously, being conscious of the life force, the essence, the beautiful blessings within us, and naturally, that sense of unity and abundant energy will find expression outwardly. And thus, you'll be able to manifest whatever your heart desires accordingly.